This motherfucker is sitting here being the king of a fortress of goddamn lies. This entire Seth the Programmer situation is just completely crazy. I don't know why this guy did what he did. He kind of comes across as a sociopath. And really, we just had to take the time to talk about it on this channel because, of course, this is anime related. We have other videos on our other channel, Rash and Dash. A link to that will be below. And that's if you're interested in more content like this one. But anyway, Clyde has posted a video about Seth the Programmer, which really just showcases how toxic he is. Honestly, when it came throughout the entire video, Seth was just on demon time. People look at this entire situation, right? And then they think, oh man, anime fans, they're looking down bad as always. This is kind of what people would come to expect from anime fans, but I think there's a difference between anime fans and anime degenerates. There's definitely a fine line between the two, and I think you guys can guess which one Seth is. It's just crazy to have gone from watching his videos from so many years now, and finally getting this build up and seeing all of his bullshit finally catch up to him. And the craziest thing to me is the fact that he played everything off as a joke. I don't know why, but every suspicious character always does this. And this is something I have personally caught on to. You can only take a joke, but so far.
I'm sorry, you're on some real beta shit if you have to play everything off as a joke. Make fun of and bully your friends. Oh, it's a joke, I ain't mean it like that. So many people do that nowadays, and honestly, you cannot surround yourself around people just like that. That's why it does not surprise me that Clyde, Swag, and Six decided to separate themselves from him. It's kind of sad because, honestly, if you guys haven't seen already, I've already made a video reacting to one of Seth's takes on Dragon Ball, and I used to watch his content. Honestly, I didn't always agree with his content or his takes, but he did offer a very interesting perspective on the things that I liked. So honestly, it was kind of entertaining to witness this difference in perspective despite the cancer it might have bred in the community. But despite all of that, this is a major loss in the anime community. Whether you like the guy or not, Seth really did hold a huge spot in the anime community. And it's kind of obvious his power scaling had a major influence over it because, as you can see nowadays, almost everybody that's an anime fan likes scaling and tries to be like Seth. Despite watching his content, I just couldn't shake the feeling there was something disingenuous about him. And I guess you could say that disingenuous nature finally caught up to him. All I gotta say is that this dude is way more pathetic than I thought. I always knew that he was a liar because personally I felt like when it came to his power scaling, he'd take advantage around the hype of the character just to make bank on it. And it seems as though this energy of taking advantage of things wasn't exclusive to anime because he took advantage of his friends and even his subscribers. Honestly, I don't even think it'd be far-fetched to say that he has an even bigger ego than LTG because even during this Keemstar live stream, he would not fold. As he continued to double down, continued to curse at and disrespect Keemstar on his own show. And going on that show was probably the worst thing he could have ever done outside of treating people like shit. While watching a majority of it, we just got a real taste of his character. There was a lot of derailing and projecting and trying to make sure that everyone was no longer on the same page to try and forget that this guy actually made a few mistakes in what he was saying. Basically, it was Seth's same old anime debate bullshit. Unfortunately, he's not talking about a cartoon, so people are going to check him. He does not have dick riders constantly being his yes men because he's talking about how strong their favorite character is. This is real life, so that shit didn't work when he came on a Keemstar show. Me personally, I like the truth and I don't give a about how strong some anime character is. And this thing that he would do during debates are just one of the things that I find disingenuous about him. But me personally, I don't know the guy, so I'm not necessarily going to disrespect him. But now that the cat's out of the bag, I think it's a different story now. Even when he would go along the lines to say the internet is a different place now, you know, I'm being edgy, this, that, and the third. You could really only go but so far with that shit. It's just a very annoying cover-up. Like with Seth's friend Clyde, right? He would send a picture of Clyde hanging himself, which ties into something that happened horribly in his past.
There's a line between joking and then there's a point where you're just blatantly disrespecting someone, and there's always a bit of truth in jokes. Like, you would think after going so far and saying something so harsh, there'd be a JK at the end of it, or, hey man, I don't know how that joke made you feel, or anything along those lines. And then he would even, he would talk about a 16-year-old girl and make fun of her for having pancake nipples. He would say this about a 16-year-old girl while he'd be at least 20. He would also ask her for nudes, but again, his defense was it didn't have malicious intent, it was a joke. It's just a terrible argument altogether. It's insane because, you know, he's supposed to be a master debater. He's viewed to be this toxic guy who can kind of talk his way out of anything, and here he is not being able to do that thing that he really needs to do in the moment where he really needs to most. And he just honestly did every sin under the fucking sun. It's hard to keep track of all this shit. And to top it all off, he doesn't even make his own YouTube content, so he's sitting here, a whole entire scumbag is making money practically off of nothing for just sitting on his ass. He's making free fucking money and getting free influence. This motherfucker is sitting here being the king of a fortress of goddamn lies. I'm not surprised though, because something always did feel disingenuous. But it is what it is. This guy is the Shad man of the fucking anime community. That probably explains why he ended up getting such an insane ego, because he didn't even work for what the fuck he had. Granted, he paid for it, but still, at the end of the day, there's a huge difference. And then what really gets me during this Keemstar video is when Seth hits, I think I might be depressed. Like, okay, you're depressed, but imagine how everyone else felt over the shit you did. What about their depression, their problems, you know? That's not even a valid excuse. Everyone has issues, and just because your issues may be less or fucking more than anyone else's doesn't make you a better person at the end of the day. Motherfucker actually thought he was Sasuke or some shit with a Naruto backstory. There was no talk no jutsu in this bullshit. Bro thought he was about to get that talk no jutsu and save his career. Somebody please cue the Naruto flute. I just hope later on in the future, nobody gives somebody this much power and influence to a degree of this stature again, because the way these guys would cling on to Seth was actually unreal. Honestly, I hate to say it, but he just didn't belong, bro. He knew he was making the anime community worse off, capitalizing on it and making a bag off of it, and he just did not care. You cannot trust any YouTuber that you see online. You cannot just base your opinions on them off of exclusively what you see, because there's always more to a person than you'd initially think. Stop letting people take something that you care about and or love. It doesn't matter what type of culture it is. Rap culture, anime culture, any type of hobby, you name it. You cannot let these people jump in on this thing and just capitalize it and use it for their own personal gain. You have to protect the culture, because at the end of it all, that is all we've got. And if you don't, more douchebags like this will keep on coming. You really have to watch Clyde's video covering all of this. Like, just like Logan Paul and CryptoZoo, Seth is also potentially a scammer, because his Naruto versus Ichigo video never really got finished, and all of this money that fans have put into it is nowhere to be found. I hate to dig into him so hard, but he's just done so much shit, and he takes no accountability at all. And he is self-aware to all of the bullshit that he's done. Being proud of spreading cancer to the community, being proud of shitting on other YouTubers who dream of doing this shit. Joke or not, as a YouTuber, I am not gonna stand for this slander. So many other people deserve that spot. Clyde himself deserves that spot before Seth should have ever gotten it. That's exactly why Clyde made that motherfucker what he is. And all of his other script writers and editors. That's the worst part about it all, because for being just a voice, they get all of the control over the people. Then you get clones who emulate the same toxicity, trying to live up to the idea of what they think this guy is, when he never really did anything. getting viewers to believe in a lie more so than they already would've. This entire thing is just fucked, and honestly, Seth's goose is cooked. I could go in all day about everything that he's done, but nothing's really gonna change. All I gotta say is the viewers are gonna decide what needs to happen.
He's packed up!